You already know what time it is. Late night Dune. Well, that's not the cover. There it is. We're on now, chapters 16 and 17. And we're actually making some good headway. We're almost at the end of part 1 of book 1. So that's pretty nice. We're almost there. And these are really two good chapters. Like, I think I say that all the time when it comes to these videos, that there's some like each chapter gets better and better. There's some like highs and lows with each chapter, but like 16 and 17 were really good. I think no, they're on the same tier because they both have things I like about them. 16 was probably the most dense. It's the most dense because it was a dinner party, which was kind of cool. Got to see new characters and whatnot. And then, like, what I like about this, it kind of shows like how, as a diplomatic high echelon family, you have to do like these not customaries, but civil duties of like having these banquets or functions to network, get your people introduced to other people and whatnot. And I kind of just like that vibe of it. It felt like a very natural thing. Like, oh, we're on this new planet, let's now have this dinner party just to get to know the other people of high caliber on this planet as well, and just to get our people as well to network, talk, make friends and now alliances and whatnot, and also figure out who our enemies can be. Cool idea, executed pretty well. I think the main takeaways were this guild banker named Bewt. We'll call him B-Man. He's a water shipper. He controls like the water supply, shipping water in and out. No, I think shipping water into Arrakis. And Hawat made it clear to Leto, saying keep an eye on this guy because Arrakis can even control him too. Because again, you control the water supply for Arrakis practically. You know what I mean? You're controlling the water shipments to Arrakis. So at that point, like, if the Hirokans don't do what you say, then boom, you could just cut off the water supply. And now Duke Leto has to deal with the same, kind of looming threat of like, hey, if you don't, comply well or like make this water shipper happy, he could probably just cut off the water supply for you on your planet. That's not good. Then the dinner party also had talks of, Leto wanting to bring back or wanting to implement a weather dome. Again, another good thing for Rax because again, it's a desert planet. It had like, weather control dome and whatnot. Control the weather, have more plants grow and flourish and whatnot. Cool stuff like that. Another thing at the beginning of the chapter I thought was pretty interesting. Like how the heroic, before Leto came in, there was like this like weird tradition of like kind of the heroic is kind of like wasting water on purpose. And like forcing like servants to like drink or use that wasteful water, like almost like mocking them, almost like here's like a hand, kind of like imagine like a sink. Dip your hands in the sink, then rub your hand on the towel, then like they throw the towel away, and like that towel was then given to the servants. And Duke Leto saw that like kind of disrespectful, so let's stop the tradition. That tradition isn't here. So again, like Duke Leto is doing his best to like respect people and whatnot. I kind of like how he like saw that tradition was kind of respectful and like he wants to abolish that practically. Cool thing of Duke Leto. Then another thing I thought was pretty interesting was the dinner party talk. At the dinner party, Dr. Keynes was there, and it was talks about water on Arrakis and how Jessica and Paul both noticed this, by the way. How when Dr. Keynes is talking about the water, like he's very excited, like, oh, the potential, like how Arrakis is set up, like the potential of it, carrying life would be such a good thing. And like if only Arrakis had more water. But then there was like a hint of deceit in his voice because like the point is apparently there is probably like a decent amount of water on Arrakis. But that's being kept secret. Why, we don't know yet. So I think that's pretty interesting too. Like, I think, what's his face? Jessica mentioned it first and foremost. I think she picked up on it. Was it Jessica first? Or was it Paul? One of the two of them. No, it was Jessica talking about it with Dr. Yue, I believe. About water in Arrakis and like there could be more water in Arrakis that we don't know about. And again, going more into it, how They just don't know a lot about Arrakis. It's like parts of Arrakis that haven't been explored yet, per se. Like there's like layers to it, and so there's just still mystery surrounded by Arrakis that we don't know about, and it's kind of being kept a secret. And that one of the secrets being like Arrakis has like its own kind of water supply, maybe we don't know yet. That's kind of interesting. I like that. And that was kind of like the main highlights, in my opinion, of the chapter. Paul and the Baker kind of going back and forth, and Jessica's doing her best to like kind of cool down the tension with that. Even like Kane too tried to help cool down the tension, and Paul may know that, saying he probably could handle himself, so he doesn't know why his mom tried to hop into mom and Dr. Kane tried to like hop into like alleviate said tension. And that was another thing too. I think at the beginning of the chapter, Dr. Keynes makes a comment alluding to maybe Paul being the Messiah of some sort. I think it was the Bene Gesserit's Messiah. I think he mentioned it. The point is, he made some type of comment or phrase in language that piqued Jessica's interest, which made her further believe that her son could be this Messiah that she wants her son to be. So another cool, interesting fact right there. Then on top that we get what else happened? The Duke leaving to take care of a security threat. Not like a security threat. So like he left the dinner party early to like take care of that. Turns out the Iraqis were bringing in steel guns and they stopped this one containment of it. But that's the one they cost us. There probably could be more steel guns. Then we learn more about steel guns. Steel guns, when hit against a shield, it causes an explosion, being able to take out like both the shooter and the person with the shield. Just some more lore about the weapons and whatnot. And that was kind of it for chapter 16. Solid chapter. Chapter 17 was interesting because we then go to Aftermath. People coming down from the party. Jessica then hears people talking outside. It's Duncan Idaho drunk. And then him being drunk, is this video? I didn't pause it. Tweet. And then he, slip of the tongue, mentioned how he thinks she's a rockin' traitor. And because if you remember a couple chapters back, Howat put Duncan to watch Jessica because he thinks Jessica's a traitor. So that thing caused Jessica to kind of spaz out, call Howat to her office, where they have like this back and forth talking, like Jessica trying to convince Howat that she's not the traitor. And also trying to say like, hey, this could just be playing with Iraqis to have division amongst her house, but Watt's not buying it and whatnot, saying, hey, I don't know, it could be anything in this body, it could be anybody, so I just gotta keep that. I gotta keep my eye on you because you could be the traitor, and I can't take that risk. And then the whole conversation is like her trying to like find a way to like drop like a trump card, like boom, how can I explain this properly? Throughout the conversation, she's like trying to rile him up to a point where when she says something, it's going to rile him to a point where he does something that she wants to do, if that makes sense. And her first thought was, I could say that I'm pregnant with Duke Little's kid. She said 3 weeks pregnant. But she said that's probably not the right call because that will then cause, Duke Little to be like, oh, I have a kid now and make him worry more. So that's not the right call. So then eventually, after this back and forth goes on, she then uses, I think it's either the voice or one of her powers to like lift Howat out of his seat to then prove like, hey, listen, if I wanted to be a person, if I want to take you guys out, I could, but I've chosen not to. And like throughout that whole conversation, she's like building up to like this big trump card moment, like, hey, listen, I could have been a threat, but I'm not a threat. Like I could have killed you, I could have taken out the Duke, I could have done all these things and whatnot, but I'm choosing not to. I'm just like here because I'm meant to serve, is what she's saying. Then, Howat's like, well, if you have all this power, why not freaking be of use to the Duke and, like, take out his enemies? And then she says something along the lines of, if I do that, then the Duke will just lean on me all the time and he wouldn't be a good leader. So, again, my purpose is to serve. And if you guys want my help, you can have it to something along that degree. Point is, she, in a way, kind of took suspicion off of her, and now that kind of then put like a fire underneath for Watt to like figure out who was the actual culprit or who could be the traitor, and that now make it more focused. She said at the end of the chapter. I'll say, what did she say exactly? He quietly turned and left the room. Jessica lowered her gaze from the reflection of the windows, turned to the closed door. Now we'll see some proper action, she whispered. So yeah, now that she did that, that kind of now, they're now not wasting efforts and resources on Jessica thinking that she's a traitor. Now they can actually focus their efforts to find the actual traitor or whoever it could be, or whatever motive the Hyrokans have, actual plans against him, and not this in-house fighting or whatnot. So pretty cool. I liked it. There's something else I wanted to say. Or maybe not. I don't know. Point is, good chapter. I enjoyed it. These were really good, 16, 17 pretty good chapters. Again, almost done with part 1. And as you guys know, once we're done with part 1, we're going to watch the movie on Twitch. So be prepared for that. But yeah. Dang, it's kind of insane. Like, this is probably like the most dense of chapters. But like, this might be my shortest video, to be honest. Like, this is kind of like a... Maybe I'm just getting good at summarizing. Is that it? Because it was more of like me just explaining like the good spark notes of it. Also things I like, you know, not just like a full-on one-by-one retake, if that makes sense. But no, not bad. I actually just enjoyed these. These were pretty good. These were a pretty good pair back-to-back. Like, going from the dinner party to then like this back and forth of Jessica and Hawat to like kind of like fix the situation between them. Now they can move forward to like try to stop the Hyrokans and their plans. I like that. And I'm really curious about what's going to happen next chapter. I don't even know. Because again, what's crazy is Dr. Yue was in this chapter. And then she mentions Dr. Yue, but then they kind of like throw it away like I probably can't be him. So again, it's very interesting like how Dr. Yue is a traitor, but like no one's like picking up that he is a traitor. And I find that, and that's like a very cool, not cool, what's what I'm looking for? I can't find the word. Dang, I can't find the word for that. But I'm just very curious on how they're going to catch Dr. Yue. Like that's going to be the like what led them to figuring out that he's a traitor, and like that's going to be like a good twist when it finally does happen. But yeah, that's it. That's all. I'm done for the night. Y'all go to bed. I'm not going to bed. I'm going to probably just like watch an American Dad or something. I don't know, bro. All right. Y'all take it easy, okay? Oh, and subscribe. And subscribe too. I always forgot that part. Subscribe. All right, I'm done.